Welcome back to our next indie game, Everloop. This is another game like Exit 8 and Elevator Zero. More like Exit 8 than Elevator Zero. This one is in another looping corridor, filled with possible anomalies that have to be spotted, and then you move back if something has changed. This game, curiously and helpfully, keeps a codex of all of the possible 30 anomalies that can occur during the playthrough. So, I'm going to play through this, successfully complete it. I found all 30 anomalies already, so the ones we don't get through the actual playthrough, I will explain to you how to find through the codex, so you can find them all. So, here we go. So in the Exit 8, the constant recurring entity in the hallway was a Japanese businessman. In this game, it's a cat. So yeah. Just like in the other games like this, you want to watch everything. The paintings, the statues on the shelf, the box on the shelf, the rugs, the flower tiles, the doors, the arrangement of the carpets, fucking everything. Anything can change. The only thing I didn't find differences in for any of the anomalies was that painting right there and this one. So, also that one never changed at all. But the other three are big ones that are possible. This one, that one, and this one here. For each successful loop that you make, one of those candles will light up. And then, just like in the Exit 8, you're one successful loop away from completion. So we've had two non-anomalous hallways here so far. Nothing's happened yet. There's the first one. That is the rift. That big ass crack at the end of the hallway. So now we turn around and go backwards, as is the standard formula for these games. I could go ahead and explain some of them while they're not happening. See that floor pattern right there? Not the regular brown tiles, but the flowery ones. That pattern will disappear sometimes. That's an anomaly. These carpets that are normally straight will all be crooked and cockeyed. That's another one. Sometimes the middle carpet will be a completely different pattern than the other two. That's also another one. I'll explain the ones we don't get, again, in the codex after I finish it, but, I mean, these are a lot of them. That statue will be turned to face you rather than facing forward. That box will turn blue instead of being yellow. She'll completely disappear. There are two things that can happen with the clock. It'll either be upside down, or the hands will be spinning very quickly, counterclockwise. She can be facing the opposite direction, That one seems to be kind of rare. That's the last one I got of the 30. That book cover will change to something other than gray. The cactus will disappear. There's one. That knocking. I think the Codex calls that the insistent cycle. That is another one of the possible anomalies. So we're halfway to exit here already. Some of them are obvious, some of them are tricky. Standard, you know, formula for these liminal space spot the difference games. Alright, we're almost out. I thought I saw one of the two that can happen with the fans, but it wasn't happening. Sometimes one of them will spin it in the opposite direction as all the other ones, and occasionally stop completely. Those are two different anomalies with the fans that can happen. There's one with the cat. The cat is completely black now, instead of the color that its fur normally is. That one's kind of obvious if you're watching the cat every time, which you should be, because there's at least 3 different things that can happen with the cat. It will turn black. Sometimes it will stop on the first rug and just sit down where it normally keeps on through the hallway. And occasionally it just doesn't show up at all, which is another, you know, feline fade, I think is the name of that one. So if we successfully navigate this hallway, we should be out. Make sure we don't miss anything. All the fans are moving. All the fans are moving in the same direction. Statues are there. The box is still yellow. The clock is fine. She's facing the end of the hallway. That one is normal. Both doors are there. That door is still shut. Phonograph is both on and not playing music. Those are both. Uh-oh. I fucked up somewhere. Hold on. Shit. Oh, it was the floor pattern. The floral pattern in the tiles disappeared, and I didn't catch it. Damn it. Alright. Well, here we go. Possible to show you more now because I I goofed. Can't believe I didn't catch that one. That was one of the ones I pointed out specifically at the beginning. That's one. The phonograph starts playing music. Turn around and go backwards. Because it's not supposed to do that. Alright. See that? Cat stopped. You do not want to go around that corner until that cat reaches that carpet in case it stops, because that's one of the differences. That's obviously one. So there we go. See the carpet in the middle? Totally different pattern. Yeah. See that? That one's spinning the opposite direction as all the others. And the cat didn't show up. So that should be the final. Yep, there's the exit. Alright, now I'm going to read the codex entries for you and explain to you how to find the ones we didn't see. Alright, here we go. The Rift. At the end of the hallway, where gaze meets infinity, a crack disfigures the wall, stretching like a scar across the concrete. This is not a mere structural flaw, it is a fissure in the veil that separates realities, a whisper from the space between what was and what could have been. Through it, oblivion and memory collide, releasing fragments of unrealized possibilities. The Great Crack serves as a reminder that even in the most solid structures of our lives, there are points of fragility ready to burst open under the weight of time and choices. To face the rift is to confront the impermanence of everything we know, recognizing that in every end, there is the beginning of a new mystery. As I observe the rift, I recall the goodbyes never said, an echo of my own threshold between worlds. So we saw that one. It's just a big crack on the wall at the end of the hallway. This one we did not see. The hidden skull. In a nearly forgotten corner, shielded by shadows and the dust of time, rests a skull painted on the wall. Hidden behind a desk, it silently contemplates the unending cycle of life and death. Its discreet presence is a subtle reminder of our own transience, a permanent mark that prompts reflection on what we leave behind after our departure. Why would someone hide it here, in this almost invisible nook? Perhaps to teach that the true essence of being lies not in visibility, but in the memories that echo through time. The hidden skull makes me think about the memories I've left behind, now just shadows in the home that was once mine. That is a white skull painted on the wall next to the bench with the phonograph. Not under it, beside it. I only got that one to show up once, and I only saw that one time. But that's where it'll be, if it appears. Exchange knowledge. In the dusty quietude of a forgotten desk, a book rests. But in a fleeting moment, the knowledge within transforms. The book is replaced by another. Not by human hands, but by the invisible whims of fate. This exchange, subtle yet significant, challenges the permanence of the known, opening gateways to unexplored wisdoms. Its pages offer new enigmas, knowledge, and untold stories awaiting a bold reader. Knowledge is a constantly changing river, its waters never the same at two moments. The exchange of books is an invitation to dive fearlessly into this perennial flow, reminding us that, in the journey of learning, each answer found opens the door to new questions. The unexpected exchange of books reminds me of the soul's continuous journey, seeking to understand its new role in the cycle of life and death. The book that is on the bench with the phonograph and the cactus will have a different cover. That's all that happens. The cover changes design. It won't be solid gray, it'll be something else. This is the cat turning black instead of the color it normally is. We saw that one. Feline transmutation. Like a shadow that shifts with the falling night, the feline familiar now roams the corridors in a mantle of ebony. The transmutation of its fur to the deepest black is more than a color change. It's a metamorphosis of meanings and omens. Its presence in this new form is an invitation to look beyond appearances, to explore the unknown depths of our own soul. The true nature of things is fluid, subject to changes and transformations that challenge our understanding. The black cat, with its eyes capturing the candlelight, reminds us that even in darkness there is beauty to be found, and mysteries to be unveiled. The black mantle of the cat, now reflecting the darkness of the eternal night, makes me ponder the shadows I now inhabit, a realm between what was and what will be. That is the carpet in the middle, changing patterns. Textile replacement. In the corridor of existence, every detail is a carefully chosen piece of the grand tapestry of life. But at times, a piece is unexpectedly replaced. The middle rug, which previously followed the pattern of its siblings, now displays a strangely new design. The newly arrived rug, with its unknown patterns, questions the natures of individuality and change. What stories does it bring with it? What paths has it adorned? The sudden change leads to ponder about the moments in our life when the familiar is swapped for the unknown, and how these transitions affect the fabric of our personal narrative. An invitation to acceptance and to embracing the new, to acknowledging that each element, new or old, has its place in time, and that change is an undeniable constant of existence. The newly arrived rug, with designs I've never known, reminds me that life continues to unfold, even in my absence. This one is simple. The cactus disappears off the bench. It normally sits on the bench with the book and the phonograph, but it just won't be there. Where once a cactus stood, a symbol of resilience and persistence in the desert of existence, now lies only emptiness. The table, once adorned by its verdant presence, echoes the absence of what was suddenly taken. This disappearance is not mere forgetfulness, but a subtle reminder that all that is tangible is also transient. The cactus, with its spines that defy touch, represents the ability to flourish, even in the most arid conditions. To find life where it is least expected. Its absence questions the heart. What does it mean to persist when even the most resilient can vanish without warning? The absence of the green cactus reminds me of the fragility of existence, and of everything that disappears while we are away. Yeah, we didn't get this one either. One of the doors simply disappears. That one's pretty obvious. In an instant, reality subtly shifts, and the door that once marked a possible path, a choice among many, simply vanishes. There are no more marks on the wall, no sign that a passage ever existed there. This disappearance is not just the removal of a physical route, it's an evocation of the ephemeral, a questioning of the doors we open and those we leave closed with our journey. What lay beyond that door? What destinies were sealed with its fading? The absence of the door in the wall is a reminder that opportunities and choices are as transient as the morning mist. They require attention, for they may disappear before being fully realized. The vanished door is like missed opportunities, reminders of the path I can no longer follow. This is the phonograph playing music instead of static. We got that one too. Amid the oppressive silence of the corridors, a turntable comes to life with a new song. It's no longer just static emanating from its needle, but a macabre melody, a symphony of shadows dancing to the rhythm of the unknown. This music is not of our world. It echoes from the depths of a forgotten reality, an invitation to enter the dance of the specters. Each note carries a weight, the memory of parties long silenced, of laughter lost in time. Why was this music chosen? What stories does it attempt to tell through its somber chords? The spectral melody is a reminder that even in absence, music remains, an invisible thread connecting the past to the present, the living to the dead. It challenges us to listen beyond fear, to find beauty in darkness, and to dance with the ghosts of our own stories. A macabre melody filling the air reminds me of the finiteness of our dance on earth, a song for those who have departed. This one we did not get. It's one of the two statues on the first shelf on the right will simply disappear. It's not the first one. The wooden carving of the woman. It just won't be there. Where once rested the rustic silhouette of a woman carved in wood, now there is only emptiness. On that shelf, the dust draws an outline, the memory of a presence that has gone. The statuette, a simple yet eloquent representation of the human form, evoked reflections on the essence of life, on the cycle of birth, existence, and return to dust. Its absence is not merely a physical loss, it's an invitation to introspection about the space each being occupies in the fabric of time. What remains when the form dissipates? What stories are lost when the object carrying them disappears? Even in absence, there is presence, the untold story, the invisible legacy that each leaves behind. Confronted with this empty space, we are prompted to ponder our own outlines in history, about what we choose to leave as our mark on the world. The emptiness where the statuette once rested echoes my own absence, as space I can no longer occupy. This is another one for the phonograph. We didn't get this one in the playthrough here, but rather than emitting static, it'll be completely silent and the red indicator light on the top will be off. The record player, once a constant source of almost comforting noises, now lies mysteriously silent. The silence is not merely an absence of sound, but a void filled with meaning, a pause in the symphony of existence. What causes a machine to quiet itself against its very nature? Perhaps in this moment of stillness there is an opportunity to listen more closely, not to the sounds of the world, but to the internal voices we often ignore. The silence of the record player invites introspection, a dive into the depths of our being where answers do not require words to be understood. In this soundless space, we are reminded that sometimes, in the most complete silence, we can find the most resonant truths. The silence of the record player reflects the quietness of my home, now distant from the laughter and conversations that once echoed here. Yeah, we didn't get this one either. This is the one where one of the fans will just completely stop. In the corridor where the air is constantly stirred by the incessant dance of the fans, one ceases its motion. Suspended in time, the calmness of this single turned-off fan contrasts with the whirlwind of its companions, creating an island of serenity amidst chaos. The halt is not a mere mechanical failure. It is a sign, an invitation to reflect on the cycles of movement and pause that permeate our existence. Why has this one, among all, chosen to rest? The stillness of the turned-off fan reminds us that even in the most frenetic dance of life, there are necessary moments of pause, instances where silence speaks louder than the storm. It teaches us that to truly move forward, sometimes we need to stop, observe, and breathe, finding peace in stillness, just as we find joy in motion. The motionless fan amidst constant movement reflects my own search for inner peace as I adjust to my ethereal existence. We got this one too. This is the one where the cat stops on the rug. In its usual course, the cat, a silent spectator of the eternal corridors, chooses an unexpected moment to alter its routine. At the first rug it encounters, it stops, sits down, and with a contemplative serenity, decides to lie down, abandoning its incessant wanderings. More than a mere physical rest, it's an act of conscious presence, a reminder that even the most tireless travelers need to find moments of stillness. In its immobility, the cat teaches about the importance of being fully present, of appreciating the now without haste for the next step. The cat's repose on the rug reminds me of the importance of finding moments of peace, even when I am lost between two worlds. We didn't get this one either. One of the doors will creak open. I think it's. You'll know it when it happens because it makes a really loud creak. Just the only way you would miss it then is if you just totally ignore that sound and keep walking. In the nearly palpable silence of the corridors, a creak cuts through the air, abrupt and disturbing. A door, until now sealed by the will of oblivion, opens. However, the darkness that stretches beyond the threshold forbids passage, guarding its secrets with a somber zeal. From the gloom, only the enigmatic silhouette of the back of an armchair can be glimpsed, suggesting the presence of something, or someone, waiting in the veil of shadows. This visual invitation, though open, carries with it an invisible barrier, a limit that cannot be crossed. What does the darkness hide? What stories has the silent armchair witnessed, immersed in obscurity? Some doors, though open, are not meant to be crossed. The darkness beyond the door reveals the silhouette of my favorite armchair, evoking memories of comfort and days lived, a silent echo of my impenetrable past. That is the fan spinning in the opposite direction as all the others. In a sea of uniformity where each blade of wind is sculpted by the same rotating dance, one fan dares to challenge the current. Spinning in reverse, it stands out not as an error, but as a declaration of independence, a testament to uniqueness amidst conformity. This contrary movement is not just a physical peculiarity, it is a symbol of the ability to follow one's own path, even when the whole world seems to move in another direction. Why is it chosen to spin in reverse? Perhaps to remind us that there is strength in difference, that in every choice to deviate from the expected lies the essence of freedom. The fan spinning in reverse makes me reflect on the cyclical nature of existence and how my own journey intertwines with the past and future. We didn't get this one, but it's creepy. The last door on the left of the hallway will be cracked open, and there's a really creepy skull face peeking out of the crack in the door. Among the door lining the corridor, one is subtly ajar, as if inviting a glance to peer into its secrets. In the darkness that stretches beyond, a skull rests, not a relic of death, but a beacon of mysterious vigilance. Its eyes, luminous and impenetrable, belong to a cat, shining with a curiosity that transcends the veil of death. The skull is not a guardian of terror, but of ancient wisdom, watching over the world of the living with a perspective that only eternity can provide. Its presence, visible only through the crack, is a reminder that even in the densest shadows, watchful eyes observe us, silent witnesses of our passage. In the play of light and shadow that is existence, we are always being watched, evaluated by those who have trodden the path before us. The skull with cat eyes, watching through the crack, reminds me that I still hold the wisdom and vision of the beyond. This one we didn't get either. It's literally unmissable. All of the lights in the hallway just turn deep red. Suddenly the world is bathed in a deep red, a crimson that pulses with the secrets of the heart. This color, intense and alive, is not merely a change in hue, but an invitation to feel the throbbing of his existence in its rawest form. The red that now envelops is the reflection of forgotten passions, unseen struggles, and love that transcends mortality. It whispers, in an almost inaudible tones, about the bond that links the living and the dead, about the force that drives every heart, and about the flame that never extinguishes even in the face of the end. Here in the red light, we find the courage to face our shadows, and the promise that even in the depths of the unknown, we are not alone. The red that now floods my eyes is not just the color of death, but also the burning passion I still feel. A pulsating reminder of the love that transcends life itself, flowing like blood in the eternity of memory. These are all written very, very well. Oh, at least I think so. Yeah, this is the knock. The constant loud knocking on the door. That one happened during the playthrough. Within the tapestry of silence that coats the corridor, one door stands out not for its appearance, but for the sound emanating from it. Firm and deliberate knocks as if someone is requesting entry break the veil of silence, followed by a blow of surprising force, reverberating an echo of urgency and frustration. This pattern, a cycle of insistent knocks followed by an explosion of despair, repeats itself. A litany of attempts and failures. The eternal struggle between desire and reality, the incessant search for entry into spaces denied to us, whether by physical or emotional barriers. Beyond this door, what or who tries so desperately to be heard? The insistent cycle of knocks on the door echoes my own determination to make myself present, even when I cannot be seen. We got this one too. This is the one where all of the lights in the hallway went out. The lights that once illuminated the path begin to fail, a dance of shadows and flashes that disorients and intrigues. This dark intermittence is not a mere electrical failure. It's a manifestation of the threshold between the seen and the unseen. Something between the revealed and the hidden. Each flicker is a blink between worlds, a chance to glimpse what hides on the fringes of reality. What appears in the shadows created by the flickering light. What secrets are briefly revealed before plunging back into darkness. In the quest for knowledge and understanding, we must be prepared to face not only the light of truth, but also the darkness of uncertainty. The flickering lights make me reflect on the fleeting moments of life that I now observe from outside, each flicker revealing a lost memory. We didn't get this one either. Behind one of the doors will be the sound of a baby crying very loudly. A profoundly human sound cuts through the silence, the crying of a baby, emanating from beyond the door. This hidden lament is visceral, touching directly on the most basic instincts of empathy and protection. But there is no child there, only the memory of a life, an echo of vulnerability and need. The cry, though distressing, speaks to the shared fragility of existence, our eternal quest for comfort, and the response that love can offer to the most desperate pleas. If one listens beyond the sound, the cry is perceived as a call to compassion, a reminder that behind every closed door, there may be a heart clamoring to be understood, to be embraced. The hidden cry of a baby reminds me of the new lives that continue to blossom in my family, even in my absence. This one is the one that I missed and caused us to restart. The disappearance of the floral patterns in the floor tiles. The ground you walk on, a mosaic of stories told through artistic details, undergoes a subtle yet profound transformation. The small tiles, once adorned with intricate floral designs, now present themselves as smooth, stripped of any feature that made them unique. This floral erasure is not just a loss of decoration, but a visual forgetting, an erosion of identity and memory. What causes beauty to be so abruptly silenced? The colors and shapes to be leveled by monotony. A reminder that we must observe and cherish beauty in the small things before they are irretrievably erased by the void of uniformity. The disappearance of floral details is like my memories, which slowly fade as I drift away from the life I knew. This is the one where the cat simply just doesn't show up. On the threshold of the visible, a feline walks, a familiar specter in these corridors of memory and dream. Its presence is a constant, an unbroken cycle until the moment when, unexpectedly, it vanishes. There is no sign of its passing, only the emptiness where once there was life. This sudden absence is an enigma wrapped in silence, an invitation to the question, what we consider everlasting. Where has the cat that was always there gone? Its evanescence challenges expectation, reminding us that in the dance of the universe, even certainties can dissipate like mist. All existence is transient, but the act of disappearing is not an end, but a passage to the unexplored. The cat, with its departure, teaches us to accept the mystery of transition and the beauty of the uncertain. The vanishing cat is a mirror of my own journey, disappearing from sight, but never completely forgotten. We didn't get this one either. The Madonna painting is, it's the woman holding the baby. It will be every painting in the hallway. That one's pretty obvious. All of the paintings in the hallway will turn into that one. The corridor, once adorned with a variety of paintings, is now surrounded by a single repetition. The painting of a serene Madonna, the child Jesus, and angels around her. This repetition is not a mere trick of the mind, but a mirror of eternal motherhood and sacred innocence. Each copy is an invitation to reflect on purity, protection, and the unbreakable connection between mother and child. It calls for attention to the virtues of care and compassion, to the watchful eyes of the angels that witness our own humanity. The act of finding the divine in the ordinary, rediscovering the miracle of love and life in the everyday, and recognize the angels who may walk beside us. Repetition of the Madonna image makes me reflect on the love and protection I wish for my family, even though I am no longer there. This is the angel one. We didn't get it. This is the last one that I unlocked. It seems to not happen very often either. It's the large painting of the angel in a red dress, who is normally facing toward the end of the hallway, will be reversed, and she'll be looking back toward the start of the hallway where you come from. Among the shadows and lights that adorn these corridors, a painting of an angel offers guidance. Its ethereal eyes always gazing forward. However, there comes a moment when the divine gaze shifts, a subtle yet profound change. The angel, once a constant guide, now looks away, challenging expectations and inviting reflection. This deviation is not a mere artistic whim, it's a reminder that the clearest paths are not always the ones we should follow. The angel's gaze, now turned toward the unexpected, suggests that there is merit in exploring the unknown, in the courage to face what has been left behind. The angel teaches us that true guidance comes from recognizing that every direction is valid when we seek to understand the essence of our journey. The angel shifting its gaze makes me question my direction, encouraging me to explore aspects of life I had left behind. We didn't get either of the anomalies that can happen with the clock. This is one of them. The hands will spin extremely quickly, counterclockwise. The clock, which once rested motionless, a silent and immutable observer, suddenly awakens in a whirlwind. Its hands spin fiercely counterclockwise, a countdown to a time that has passed. This temporal reversal challenges the linearity of our perception, questioning the very structure upon which we build our lives. What would happen if we could go back, undo, and rewrite? The clock's frenetic acceleration symbolizes human anxiety for change, for the power to alter the past and shape the destiny. Through the movement contrary to expectation, we are invited to reflect on the moments we wish to capture, the choices we long to revisit. An invitation to embrace the imperfection of memory and the impossibility of reversing the flow of time reminds us that true power lies in moving forward with the wisdom of the past lighting the way to the future. The temporal reversal of the clock is a deep longing to revisit precious moments with my family, knowing that I can only move forward. We didn't get this one either, but it's pretty very creepy. The painting of the woman holding the baby turns into a nightmare hell version of itself. If you're looking at the paintings, you can't miss this one. It's shit is nightmare fuel. Look up a picture of it if you want, but it's pretty horrifying when it happens. Reverence unfolds into horror. The painting, once an icon of divinity and motherhood, now transfigures into a nightmarish image. The sacred face of the mother is replaced by a spectral visage, and the innocence of the infant is now overshadowed by the presence of a voracious darkness. This dark transfiguration is not merely an alteration of art, but an inversion of meanings, a mirror to the hidden depths of being, the dualism of existence, the coexistence of light and darkness, the sacred and profane within each of us. True understanding comes from the courage to face the shadows as much as the light. The dark transfiguration of the painting reflects the duality of my existence now, between the light of memory and the shadow of oblivion. We didn't get this one either. The box on the shelf, that's normal between the two statues, will turn blue instead of yellow as it normally is. In a landscape where each object is a fragment of the narrative you inhabit, a yellow box stands out on the shelf for its vivacity and uniqueness. However, in an unexpected deviation from the everyday, its color changes to a deep, calm blue. This chromatic shift is a phenomenon that transcends aesthetics, suggesting a metamorphosis in the emotions themselves and in the essence of things. Yellow, associated with light and optimism, gives way to the blue of tranquility and introspection. It's about constancy and change, encouraging contemplation of the adaptability of being, about the fluidity of life and how changes, even the most superficial, can reflect deeper transitions within us. The color-changing box symbolizes my transition to the spiritual, seeking calm and understanding in a new state of being. This one is another one with the rugs, where they're normally all aligned straight. They'll all be crooked and extremely cockeyed. The rugs, once aligned, now lie disordered. This textile disarray breaks with the expectation of order, challenging the perception of balance and symmetry. What caused such disturbance? Is it an act of rebellion against the rigidity of rules, or an invitation to find beauty in imperfection? A symbol of the unforeseen that permeates our existence, of the invisible forces that sometimes deviate the course of the plant. But even among detours and disorders, each step leaves a mark, and every mark tells a story. The disaligned rugs are like my life now, a pattern that has been interrupted and now seeks a new order. This is the other one for the other statue on the shelf on the right, immediately starting the hallway. Not the wooden carving of the woman, but the other one. Instead of facing forward, it'll be looking directly at you. In a forgotten corner, a wooden statue observes. It is not merely an object, but a guardian of memories, a silent watcher of all who pass by. With every movement you make, it follows you, a faithful shadow that never averts its gaze. The statue, immobile but ever vigilant, symbolizes the eyes of those who preceded you, those who now judge you, guide you. In its wooden gaze, you find the silent understanding that with each step, you carry with you the legacy of our ancestors and the promise of stories yet untold. The statue that follows me with its gaze reminds me that, though absent, my influence still permeates the corridors of my former home. This is the other one for the clock. It'll be completely upside down. The hand still won't be moving. It's frozen as normal. It's just upside down. The stopped clock, a constant in its motionless silence, suddenly presents a new perspective. It is upside down. More than a physical inversion, it is a deconstruction of the linear flow we are accustomed to, challenging gravity and the conventional. The clock inverts itself as a symbol of the relativity of time and perception. What does it mean to see time like this, subverted when it no longer passes? A contemplation on the structures that govern our understanding of reality, a reflection on what could be if the rules we consider unshakable were, in fact, flexible. Questioning the orientation by which we live and the order we impose on the chaos of the universe, reminding us that our perspective is just one among many possible, and that sometimes it's necessary to turn the world upside down to see what was previously hidden. The upside-down clock challenges me to see the world from a new perspective, accepting the twist that death brought to my existence. This one is literally unmissable. If you don't see this, you might actually be blind. It appears in the floor. A section of the floor will be completely transparent glass with a this calls it a bed. It looked like a coffin to me, and they call it the grave, but whatever. If you're looking at the ground or you have eyes that are even halfway open, you cannot miss this happening. Because there'll be a giant transparent glass section in the floor where there wasn't before. Before you lies an empty bed covered by the veil of forgetfulness. A grave that calls you by name. A silent echo of your own finitude. What mysteries does an unoccupied coffin under no man's land hide? Perhaps in the stillness of this unconquered rest lies the truth we all seek. The reflection of our soul in the darkness, a promise of renewal. To approach is to recognize one's own mortality, an invitation to contemplate the eternal cycle of leaving and returning. The open grave calls me to accept my new beginning, a reminder that death is just another step in the soul's journey. Alright, well, there you have it. You saw the ones we got. Hopefully, I was able to explain adequately how to find the ones we did not actually see in the active playthrough. So that was Everloop. The link for that is in the description if you want to run through it yourself. It's a very good one. The codex entries, I found all of those very, very well written, and the meanings behind them are very good. All of that is... it's very, very thought-provoking, all of those things and what they represent. And I like that. It's good stuff. But thank you for watching that. Hopefully it helped you find the anomalies if you're actually playing this and you were missing some of them. Thank you for watching as always, and we'll see you in the next game.